The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect those of the network or its affiliates. This content is for informational purposes only and should not be considered medical advice nor treated as a replacement for diagnosis or treatment. Please consult your healthcare provider of choice regarding any personal changes to your health or treatment plan. When most people hear the word venom, they think of danger, deadly, toxic, lethal, and they would be right. But what if venom is quietly being introduced into everyday products, the medications people consume, and even parts of our agricultural system? Today's guest reveals a hidden trillion-dollar industrial complex that most people don't even know exists. Who is it really that is cashing in on venom? Well, what he's discovered doesn't just raise questions, it shatters the paradigm. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Life TV Now. I'm your host, Joe Ardis Horn. This is the place where we unpack all matters of truth, faith, and freedom. If you missed last week's episode, whether you come from YouTube or Rumble or online platforms or the Roku app, wherever it is that you watch Life TV Now, go back. I'm telling you, you do not want to miss what we unpacked. And our special guest is back again this week to continue exposing darkness with the light of truth. Let me introduce who's here. She's an integrative nutrition health coach with a Master of Science in Health Education. Please welcome my co-host, Jamie Woodle.
Thank you.
And he's a leading voice in alternative medicine and the best-selling author of Moving Beyond the COVID-19 Lies, Restoring Health and Hope for Humanity, where he challenges government narratives and shares natural solutions for over 200 COVID and long COVID symptoms. He's the host of the popular Dr. Ardis Show podcast and co-founder of the Healing for the Ages Wellness Conference. Please welcome our special guest, Dr. Bryan Ardis.
Great to be here.
Last week, we may have broken television. For those that survived, we went into bits of venom. We talked about glucagon-like peptide 1, the GLP-1 medications that are being used to treat diabetes and weight loss, and the rampant popularity of these runaway videos and viral moments online where people are exclaiming their weight loss and they're living their best life, and these commercials designed to show people thriving and living and reclaiming their youth. And then, of course, we talked about, as Dr. Ardis disclosed, not nearly exhaustively enough, only giving just this 30-minute window, but some of the prevailing side effects that include permanent blindness, the inability not to regurgitate or puke years after discontinuing some of these medications. We talked about FDA black label disclosures that doctors are not necessarily offering patients. It is a train wreck. Today we're going to continue talking about aspects of a $1 trillion complex that most people don't even know exists. And I just want to say something. Early on, back during the COVID pandemic, when I went online to start researching some of what we were being told in terms of messaging, all of it, the social distancing, the masks, the whole thing. At this point, I don't want to belabor the historical truths that probably most people, especially watching this program, accept. But the messaging that the government was putting out and instructing doctors to put out, talking about, vaccine interventions, and they kept moving the goalposts from, if you receive a vaccine for this, you will not get it and you will not transmit it to others. And then they kind of move the goalposts. Well, you may get it, but it'll soften the effects and you're less likely to transmit it to others. And then pretty soon it was, you'll still get it, but it'll be less devastating, but you're likely to still They kept moving the goalposts. People like me went online. One of the first people, do you know who it was? One of the first people out there on big microphones telling the truth about the pandemic and God's natural ways of dealing with it. Do you know who it was? Dr. Bryan Ardis. And honestly, I will admit I was hoping you were wrong. I was researching what others were saying about some of the risks regarding some of the medications like remdesivir, and they were kind of juxtaposing its value versus ivermectin or hydroxychloroquine. There did not seem to be a universal consensus on what was safe, and yet we kept being told on mainstream media cycles that there was. But you were a dissenter, and you took a lot of heat for that. Today, I hate to say this, he was right about all of it. And the worst summation of my personal fears is I had loved ones doing some of those therapies who are no longer with us. Some of the side effects that they endured were precisely the ones that you had offered when you were dealing with some of these medications and interventions. But your research led you during that whole time to uncover information about a large-scale manufacturing of animal venoms. And that's where a lot of people just kind of get lost. How are they being used across society now? And in your view, what are the three primary industries profiting from the production and the use of venoms worldwide? And yes, I did just pivot from Dr. Bryan Ardis being right about a lot of other things to now venoms, because I think you're going to find that he's right about even more stuff.
What a world we live in. So what I had no idea about, the research into COVID-19, the origins of COVID-19, led me to discover that there are a lot of things being created in our current world that for decades we have been exposed to, either applying to our skin, inhaling, injecting, swallowing, that are actually manufactured venoms from creatures all around the world. And I had no idea this was a thing. I had no idea. Many people around the world have said, do you know you blew the lid on a very clandestine trillion-dollar industry? And I would go, wait, how could this be so secretive? How can no one have known this? I just want you guys to know I'm about to talk about, I will show you, I'll give you all the evidence. It's crazy to me. I had no idea that there are three main industries for decades leading up to 2020 when COVID was unleashed on the planet. And currently today, there are three major industries that are profiting off of the manufacturing of venoms. And those three industries are drugs and vaccines, number one. Number two is cosmetics. Number three is agriculture, our food supply. Wow. And to my shock, as I'm diving into this, I'm like, wait, whoa. Every research study and every patent on drugs, vaccines, pesticides, GMO seeds being turned into our crops that are producing vegetables and fruits laced with venoms. They tell you this. The venom of these creatures is now in our food supply.
Oh, no.
And they tell you that society, all of humanity, has been benefiting from this application of venoms in our food, cosmetics, and drugs for decades.
That's scary.
Hold up. They quote that in all their patents and research studies. In fact, I'm going to let you read one of their claims. That all of society,
Good at something.
all of society is benefiting from the manufacturing and use of venoms around the world. I would like to pose this to two of you and everyone at home. If it's so beneficial to society for decades, why haven't you been told that they were doing this?
Yeah. Good question.
If it's so good for all of you, why haven't they told you it's in your drugs, vaccines, your cosmetics, and your agriculture? So let's start with the first one I was most shocked by. Bristol Myers Squibb is a drug company. Literally this morning, as of the airing of this show, 22 million Americans woke up, opened a prescription pill first before they went to the bathroom most likely, and swallowed a drug called lisinopril for high blood pressure. And I've been doing it for years.
Yeah.
How many of you know that lisinopril, also the same drug is known as captopril, generic, and enalapril, anything ends with pril, lisinopril, captopril, enalapril for high blood pressure. These are called ACE inhibitor drugs. Do you know these were first FDA approved in 1981? Do you know what it is you're swallowing? It is venom isolated from the adder bothrops viper found in Brazil.
Oh my goodness.
And you're swallowing dried snake venom every day to lower your blood pressure since 1981.
Oh, nobody knows that.
Were you told, one of you 22 million Americans, that you were swallowing snake venom to lower your blood pressure? And then I'd like to ask you, do you believe your high blood pressure is created, your hypertension was created by a deficiency in snake venom?
No.
And if it wasn't, why are you swallowing it?
Wow.
Did you know that since 1956 and 1961, it has been known that if a human ingests venom of any creature, but particularly snake venom, like lisinopril, captopril, and enalapril are made from, did you know it has been published to cause turbocancers and any cancer to form in any tissue in the human body? Any tissue in a mammal exposed to venom from a snake, it will create cancers.
Oh, no.
And do you know the people that were funded to do that research in 1956 and 1961? Their name is Dr. Stanley Cohen and Dr. Rita. And when the National Cancer Institute gave them the money to research snake venom phosphodiesterase, will it create turbocancers in the brain, any other organ of the body? And it was true within 72 hours. Do you know what we gave them as a reward for determining that you can make more cancer in people if they ingest or put on venom? They were given the Nobel Prize in Medicine in 1986 for discovering snake venom causes cancer. Do you know what's more amazing? The technology of the COVID-19 vaccines that you hear called mRNA is actually not mRNA. There's no mRNA in any of the shots. It's actually DNA plasmids. And do you know who invented DNA plasmids? Dr. Stanley Cohen, who got the Nobel Prize in Medicine in 1986 for figuring out in 1956 and 1961 you can create turbocancers with snake venom. The same snake venom phosphodiesterase that the two people that just got credited and awarded for making the COVID-19 mRNA vaccines called Pfizer and Moderna, they were just given in 2023 the Nobel Prize in Medicine. And guess what's in every one of their research studies in the development since 2009?
Well, now I have a pretty
snake
good idea.
venom phosphodiesterase in every one of them.
This is one of those rare occasions where I am nearly speechless. And it is only because I have a responsibility to keep guiding this interview that I offer this. And I mean that he has said more in, 7 minutes? 4 minutes? Than most of the people exclaiming in the mainstream news and hyperventilating on podcasts for hours and hours and hours and hours on end. The first, when I say the first question that I have, the first series of questions that I have all begin with why. Why would they be doing this? And then, of course, that offers speculation. Is there some motivation from the people that pull levers? I can tell by the look on your face there's an answer to that, too. Why? Is it your view at the end of the day, and I don't know that there's one answer, but are you suggesting that it is about churning out a whole bunch of sick people that they can also then treat with other things that they've gotten the FDA to approve? I mean, is there one primary reason why because I'm struggling. This is lunacy to me. And I guarantee you, if it's lunacy to Joe Horn, who's a board-certified holistic health practitioner and been teaching on health for years, the average person out there is going to have to rewind and start again and make notes and go research. I mean, you obviously at some point had your moment where you were pulled out of the matrix and also went through some of the questions that we're experiencing. Correct? I mean,
yes.
Do you have a why for this, or is there many whys for this?
Can I give you the why from the pharmaceutical industry and
There you
every
go.
patent and
Yeah,
every
please.
research study?
Yes.
They say as consumers around the world are looking for more natural therapeutics, this is why we turn to venoms.
Oh, no.
There will be people watching this show that will say, hey, I've heard that, the bee sting offers anti-inflammatory properties for my rheumatoid arthritis. Hey, not everything from nature is bad, and animals can offer good. God made them, right? Right? Couldn't it be that some of what we extract are, I've seen, videos on television, National Geographic type videos where they're, basically milking cobras and they're going to do research to help bring forth medications. I always thought that this was some kind of an abstract way off in the distance, not a prevailing constant on and in absolutely everything. And now he's sliding his drink away. He's going to need more movement here. Oh, Jamie's going to read again. If you missed last week, Jamie got to read. Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to introduce you to a website that's called CelticBiotech.com. Celtic, C-E-L-T-I-C, biotech.com. Go there and learn about this new company. It's got this beautiful green little like Irish-looking logo with a snake through it, right? Which is the symbol for medicine, by the way, the serpent. Which all of you
Ironic.
Protestants, I'd like you to question the symbolism there. Who represents the serpent?
Right.
What does the serpent symbolize? And it's on every ambulance, every hospital, the AMA's logo. Go look. Okay. On Celtic Biotech. Celtic Biotech has developed, Paul F. Reed is the main guy who created this company with his brother. They have actually isolated a venom from a snake to be turned into a drug to cure lung cancer. That's what the whole company is developing.
Okay.
If you go to their FAQ page, and you'll see one of their frequently asked questions is this one. I would like you to read it out loud.
Sure. Who else is using venom therapeutics?
Who else is turning venom into drugs? Well, this is a whole list here of the names of the companies and the drugs right now being offered in every hospital and every CVS, Walgreens, Rite Aid, Walmart, Target pharmacy, all the drugs made from venoms. But I want you to read this last one based on your comment about milking cobras. This is a United States of America pharmaceutical company. Please read the statement.
Receptopharm USA developed cobra venom for the treatment of HIV and multiple sclerosis.
Ask your doctor if cobra venom's right for your loved one with MS or HIV. That's just an example.
So to those, though, that would say, okay, but used properly, there could be, therapeutic applications for venom. And I keep going back to the bee sting and the rheumatoid arthritis, because I don't know if that's messaging purposed so that people will become more and more tolerant to the idea that we're going to venomize ourselves
No,
for
this is awesome.
therapeutic reason.
I want to interrupt you. Really badly.
Please do. I'm the guy on the couch trying to keep up. Go ahead.
No, I love it. But I want to interrupt you because
I'm playing advocate, so he has an opportunity to shoot some of this thinking in the head. Go
this
ahead.
is great. I was invited to go to London to speak at this medical conference, and somebody in the back from Belgium raises his hand and goes, "You keep talking about all the negative side effects of venoms and their use in drugs and as therapeutics and vaccines but what about bee venom therapy for allergies? What do you have to say about that?" This is not a joke. I said, would everybody like to hear what my issue is with the venom industrial complex? I just brought something to y'all's attention in the first 7 minutes of this segment. This reality that 22 million Americans just woke up and swallowed dried snake venom in a pill called lisinopril, captopril, or enalapril. My problem is this. If you go to get bee venom therapy for allergies, do you know that's what you're signing up for?
Yes,
Do you know you're about to get stung with bees?
usually.
Do you know,
Yeah.
do you know that's what you're paying for?
Oh,
Do you know that?
consent. Yeah.
Do you think any MS patient knows here is a pill, here is a syringe for your MS, and on the label it says King Cobra venom? Does it say that? Does Ozempic and Wegovy or semaglutide say Gila monster lizard venom?
Right.
No. My problem is why the deceit? Why? What would be the reason to deceive you if it's actually therapeutic?
They don't want you to know.
They definitely do not want you to know.
Because of the stigma or because they know that there are side effects?
Oh, no. They know the side effects of venom. Do you know what the largest moneymaker for the entire pharmaceutical and medical industry is? One disease. What is it?
Oh, please.
Cancer.
That's awful.
They know
Yeah.
venoms cause cancer. They know what they are creating, that they know they will profit from. I just had you read a study in last week's episode about the psychiatric published side effects of 160,000 people injecting themselves with Ozempic and Wegovy, which is made from Exendin-4, Gila monster venom, that they've been researching since 1956. I have the books. I have the research. They know it creates any psychiatric disorder. They know it creates suicidal behavior, major depressive disorder, and what will be the prescribed remedy for those concerns created by the drugs. What will be when you show up going,
No.
I've lost 200 pounds, but I'm seeing things. I'm hearing things. I'm really depressed. I can't get out of bed in the morning.
Right.
What are they going to then tell you? Oh, we have a solution for that. That's called depression.
I feel sick.
This
Does
is called-
anyone else feel sick?
This is called the Hegelian dialect, right? You create the problem and you sell the people the solutions.
So I just want to say something. This is the most noise I've ever heard from an audience ever.
Yeah.
We are not in the business, I'm not in the business of disparaging doctors in whole cloth. A lot of these are friends of mine. They have taken this vocation because they want to help people be well.
Yeah.
And I often blame the pharmaceutical companies, the places of academia
Yes.
that teach these doctors what it is they're going to prescribe based on these disease manifestations, et cetera. So I just want to be super clear about that. I do not subscribe to the idea that every MD down in a little clinic that's been standing with your family through disease for 20 years is a part of the Illuminati.
Right.
On the other hand, I don't trust governments at all, and I don't trust pharmaceutical companies at all. And they often marry together and come up with schemes and plots together, right?
Amen.
This is what doctors are then offered. when they go to their places of higher education and learning. A lot of what they're learning is systemically presented to them on purpose to create what you just said, the need for a medication, a dependency on a medication so that they can have lifelong customers, not well people.
Well, yeah.
This is why they hate the popularity of things like natural supplementation and God's medicine. They dread it, and they hate the fact that it's catching on, that there's this massive exodus from Babylonian constructs, massive exodus from pharmaceutical companies, and more people are waking up every day to the reality that they've never been well on any of that, but when they seek God's medicine, His food, they begin to get well. And so I don't know what you make of all of that I just shared. I'm always continuously reminding our audience, because we have new viewers every week. They don't know you, they don't know me. If I'm not clear, I don't want to be off-putting to doctors, because they're some of the most important people in this fight over the ideological battle that we're having, especially in Western civilization, that there can be. Medical doctors have giant platforms and people trust them.
Yeah.
So if we can evangelize them, right?
Yes.
To me, that's fruitful. That's effective. We're changing the conversation. Do you agree?
Yeah, actually, medical doctors don't have the platforms. Pharmaceutical companies are actually giving them and paying for their platforms and their reach. It is not the MDs. The pharmaceutical industry runs our government and all of our elected officials through what's called lobbying dollars.
Sure.
So the lobbying industries of the world, do y'all know what the definition of the word lobbying dollars is? Legal definition? It is a legal bribe paid to elected government officials to make decisions, I quote, that favor your industry. Do you know who the largest lobbying industry in America is to date? The pharmaceutical industry. All right, so just for perspective, there's a lot of talk right now around the world, and we're going to dive into more of this medication stuff, but this will be in hopefully another episode. We should talk about the pharmaceutical stranglehold on America.
Yep.
They are the number one lobbying industry in the country of the United States, in the world, the pharmaceutical industry. So if you want to know who's in charge and running this country, you will see people we elect for 4-year terms or 2-year terms. They're in and out. They don't run the government. They are in a position that is already being controlled by dollars. And who's controlling it? The lobbying industries. Who's number one? Big Pharma. Right now you're hearing a lot about Israel. The Jews are taking over and occupying the country, destroying all of our freedoms here in America. I want to give you some perspective. $300 million was paid to our elected officials in 12 months in 2024 by Big Pharma. $300 million. And now a lot of people, you're hearing the viral videos about AIPAC controlling our government officials to do just stuff that are pro-Israel. Do you know what AIPAC paid in 2024? At the same time, Big Pharma paid $300 million, number one, paying lobbying industry, controlling decisions made by our elected officials in every city, county, government office. $300 million. Do you know what AIPAC paid in 2024? When Big Pharma paid $300 million? They paid $3 million. Then I'd like to ask you, does that make you wonder why? This is a prelude to maybe a future show in the next couple of weeks. Have you ever wondered why a baby born on America's soil, in a hospital, any of them, the moment you put your eyes and lay your eyes on God's perfect creation, why you are told within 24 hours that kid has to be drugged with a pharmaceutical product called the hepatitis B vaccine? Why does every child in America have to have a parent that provides in the child's file for any age of schooling in America, in the American school district? Why does every parent have to supply to the school a drug schedule called a vaccine schedule? Why do you have to tell the school system, I, as a parent, am okay drugging my children with a pharmaceutical product so they can come to the school? If you want to know who runs America, your kids can't get an education and they can't be born in a hospital without being judged, shamed, ridiculed, you as a parent,
That's true.
for not drugging your children.
No, that's true.
Right.
Yeah.
That's absolutely right.
Yeah.
All right, so let's dive into this. They know exactly what they're doing. Read this next drug company and the next venom-laced drug.
Elon Pharmaceuticals purchased Nurex to acquire rights to SNX-111 ziconotide, a pain-killing peptide from Conus snails.
So these are ocean-dwelling snails on the ocean floor, and it's a venom-laced drug for pain found only in hospitals. It has a brand name. It's called Prialt. You just read the generic name, Zaconotide. The venom of the cone snail is called conotoxin.
Oh.
The generic name is Zaconotide. Got it?
Yeah.
All right, ready? Here we go. I want to show you the side effect, a published side effect. When you ask me, do they know what these drugs do?
Yeah.
I want to show you what they know is a published side effect of Zaconotide for pain administered to you by your medical doctor in a hospital. I would like you to see this. You ready? This is drugs.com,
Okay,
Zaconotide
yeah.
side effects. And I'm going to scroll up here to one of the most common side effects, and I want you to read it. The individual, after you inject this for pain, I want you to read out loud this psychiatric side effect of cone snail venom for pain.
Oh, I don't even want to read it. Okay. It says holding false beliefs that cannot be changed by fact. It makes people delusional.
They know when
Say it
you,
again. Holding false beliefs.
Yeah.
the person you inject this venom into, a psychiatric side effect will be the person will hold to false beliefs even in the presence of facts.
And how do you even quantify that? So
Yeah.
they've obviously looked into this, and they're saying people delusional
Amen.
or unable to perceive that this is a white ceramic mug, things like that,
Amen.
to deny reality. What about our food supply? Plants. You know that they're geoengineering everything. They're manipulating, they're changing the DNA construct of plants. Has it affected food supplies? You mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, there's three main industries: cosmetics, drugs and vaccines, and agriculture. And I was most shocked by agriculture. In fact, G. Edward Griffin, if you know who he is.
I do.
Red Pill Expo.
He was a friend of my father's.
Incredible.
Co-wrote the book A World Without Cancer.
That's exactly right. So G. Edward Griffin, when he saw me do this presentation to my audiences, he begged me to come to the next Red Pill Expo to show this study because he couldn't believe it. He's like, this is the most mind-blowing thing I've ever seen. So read the title of this study.
The title of the study is Applications of Venom Biodiversity in Agriculture.
Very good. Okay, so this is the various venoms used in agriculture. Now, I want you to just read here. This is out of the research study. Just read some of the crops in green
Okay.
that are made from genetically modified seeds to make the plant and crop you eat to have venom inside
Yeah,
of it from
sure.
these various creatures. We'll have you read in just a second. We got a minute and a half. All right, so just read the green ones. Go
Yeah.
around the horn.
Soybean, lettuce, green bean, celery, rice, stevia, brassica, potato, wheat, cotton, pepper, tomato, bean.
All right, now I want you to pay attention to potatoes. If you draw a line down here, you'll actually see there's a company that makes our potato chips that owns the patent to potatoes grown with venom inside of it. What's the company?
It says Frito-Lay.
Frito-Lay. Ask your doctor if venom's right for you. All right, let's keep going around. Go around the horn. What other crops are they making from venoms? We got 40 seconds.
Corn, pea, watermelon, radish, squash, and cucumber.
Great. All right, now I'm going to skip here, okay? We're going to read these highlighted statements from the study. Please read the first one.
Scorpion, wasp, and snake venom are being increasingly reported in patents. Giant ag biotech companies like Monsanto are the main assignees of these patents.
Monsanto, the glyphosate producing poisoning company, owns the patents on genetically modified seeds with venoms. All right. Read the last statement, please.
Agriculture, environment, and society are benefiting from this use of venom, biodiversity, and biotechnology.
How many of you knew that venom was in your food and in your crops?
I had no idea.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can see that the scope of this conversation is so big that we would never, ever in 30 minutes of network time be able to unpack all of it. But how many of you feel like Dr. Bryan Ardis is a truth bringer who is doing his best to educate the world about a lot of nefarious things that we take for granted every single day?
Yeah, thank you.
Very quickly, if people want to follow up and they want more information, they feel like they were just getting the table set on this and we ran out of time, share your website once again.
Yeah, please go to thedrardisshow.com. You can also, to get more information and you want to dive into the research, there's over 200 research studies in the book, Moving Beyond the COVID-19 Lies. And we covered the venom.
Yeah, Dr. Bryan Ardis' book, and we're going to be talking about this book a lot next week. Unfortunately, we're all out of time. For everybody here in studio, Dr. Bryan, thank you so much again for joining us this week. I'm Joe Ardis Horn. Keep your eyes on the prize, which is Jesus Christ. We'll be back.